Alright guys, chilled out in the dark video. We're just going to have a chat about some stuff. I'm still following my new principle of being less of a people pleaser and being more supportive or kind to myself. So, I know us blokes, we don't really talk about this kind of stuff, but I'm trying to talk about it more and more, and my, I don't know what you want to call it, 2024 goal, if you want to call it that, is just to be a lot more open and honest with myself, and as a result kind of more open and honest with you and other people. And a big thing is I want to keep in contact with more people that are good, either for me, or I want to connect with, or I had good experiences with. And I often ask myself, why did I stop doing that? So like, say in a gaming example, it might be, hey, I used to play a bit of Warzone and I used to play with some subscribers and it was always a decent laugh. I don't really know why I stopped doing that, because it's always nice to have a variety of people to play games with, whether it's on Call of Duty, whether it's on something different. It doesn't really matter. In my own personal life, there are just a handful of people that during some stuff that's been going on has been very supportive, and I've made a conscious effort to really try to stay connected. Now, I struggle a lot with doing new things, and I struggle a lot with just going to new places and doing stuff. It is a massive stickler in my life. It always has been. And this year, and sort of like towards last year, I made some big strides. So I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, an example, this might seem really silly, but I feel a lot more comfortable doing this video. Like, I've got my drink, I've just been to McDonald's, I'm not in the bright lights, I'm not worried about what I look like on camera, and I've told myself, okay, you want to make a video, and this is as much effort as you want to put in. I just want to open the camera and chat to you guys. I feel like if I got ready, did my hair, made sure my face looks okay, set me lights up, then I'd start pressurizing myself like, well, you've gone to this effort, now you need to make the video good, retake. What are you going to talk about? If you've got nothing to talk about, don't do it. Then I'll feel daft that I've got everything set up and I'm not making a video. So what I'm trying to do is just be less harsh on myself and say, okay, this is the video you're making, just post it. Some people might be interested. Like, I know me personally, I watch a load of simple content on YouTube. Like, I just watch people talk. I watched a guy, he was from America, he was taking his car to be fixed, and then he drove home and he just chatted about, I think he chatted about his next door neighbour or something, and I don't know these people. I stumbled across it and I enjoyed it, and he was the most down to earth, just normal. There was nothing fancy about the video, and often I always think there's got to be a big point or there's got to be something fancy. And so I'm trying to I've had over the years that I won't get into, but I just hit my limit with stress, and I had to really work on some stuff. So we did touch upon it on a very long time ago. I ended up splitting up with that girl. 4 months on, I feel alright. Yeah, it's a bit shit that it ended, but I've processed everything and we're fine. And there's been a few good things come out of it, to be honest. And if you want that side of things, I do that on TikTok. So GGZII Social is my name on TikTok, and I've been keeping people up to date, and I've met some people through there, and that's been nice. Now, with this kind of stuff, yeah, I want to keep progressing, keep in contact with people, and I understand my channel's dead, my stream's dead. It's fine. I don't advertise it. I just pop on when I'm in the mood, and if someone wants to hang out, that's cool. If not, it's cool. So the big major step obviously was, to be honest, it had been a while since I dated somebody, so just simply dating somebody for a couple of years, like from a, if you want to look at it like a robot from an experience point of view, was nice. It had been a while. Sometimes you like question yourself, you lack your confidence and blah blah blah. So there was many good factors that came of that. It taught me a lot. I learnt a lot. So I don't put the whole situation down negatively. I don't think about her negatively. I've got no problem. It is what it is, right? Where it has helped me is I realised I had some flaws and I really want to progress them. So the main thing is, like I touched upon, and I do struggle to talk about it, to be honest, so I hope you appreciate me being this honest, because I know everyone likes to front on YouTube, and as a bloke it's all about being big and tough and confident, but I just have something in me where I just can't do new shit, and going to new places, travelling, the fear of doing something wrong cripples me. So like, I'd love to go to the gym, but the idea of me, I'm just being frank with you, the idea of me going on a machine and having no idea how it works and having to ask somebody, it's not that I'm not socially able to go and ask somebody. I have no problem with that. What I don't like is I don't like strangers knowing I can't do certain things. So me going up to somebody and being like, hey, how do you do this thing, I'd rather not do. So I'd rather spend like weeks on my own researching the perfect, working out how everything works. And the reality is, in real life, not everything goes to plan. So for example, I'm going to be really honest, like this might sound really daft. There was this coffee machine in my local store, yeah, and every morning I go to the store and I think I should get myself a coffee, but I'm not exactly sure how the machine works. I can't bother to mess it up. There's a ticketing system that you then take to the front, and I was like, if I go there and the machine's not working, I don't know. Anyway, I watched a YouTube video on how the machine works, and I thought, you know what, that seems pretty simple. And then I went in and I did it, and it was completely fine. And then you think to yourself, what was all the fuss about? So for me, where I get my confidence from is doing the activity. Socially, I'm outgoing, I can chat to people, I can hold a conversation. It's not like I'm some super introvert or anything like that. But when it comes to the new things, what I struggle with is getting it wrong, which is why I really beat myself up when I get stuff wrong. So, I guess the McDonald's is kind of relevant to this video, because one of the big things is, in my past, which I've spoke about a very long time ago, I had like agoraphobia. Like, I just couldn't go out. I don't have that anymore, but it's still very, very, very difficult. And I have, if you want to call it, like fluctuations with it. And that causes me to not be able to do a load of stuff. And you can sit there and say that's pathetic, that's whatever. It doesn't really bother me. It is what it is. You know, we all have our own brain. We've all got our own issues. And you know, that's just, you've just got to deal with the hand you dealt. So I've been working on that and going to do things that put me out of my comfort zone more and more and more. Be it going to a shop that I never normally go into, doing a machine, or like, for example, I've just bought a car. Now, I learnt to drive around 4 years ago, and when I learnt to drive, I passed first time. And I drive a manual on UK roads, and I passed first time with, like, I think I had 1-2 minors, and one of them was getting too close to a van, when it was one of those, if you've ever been on a UK road, someone shoves in and you're already going down the road, and I wasn't going quite slow enough, but I knew I'd cleared the van anyway. I still can think about it now, and I always remember every mistake. So when you're driving, what's very difficult for me is every gear change is a test, every indicator, every mirror check, everything is a test. Now, I know it's not, but I'm very, very self-critical. It's why I've always been quite good at every single game I've played, because I'm my biggest self-critic. I don't let myself suck. So, when it comes to driving the car, the reason I'd passed my test and never drove again was I just wasn't comfortable with my level of skill. You might think, well, you passed your test first time. What's the problem? I just don't have that inner confidence of go out and do it, bro. I have to have done the repetitions. And so once I passed my test, the only way to get the repetition was to get a car, go on the road and just do it. And I didn't feel ready for that. It's probably taken 4 years till I feel ready for it. And I'll be honest, part of it was splitting up with that girl, and I thought to myself, like, I don't want to be in a situation again where I'm asking her for a lift, or a future girl, or just anyone. Like, I just want to be more independent. And I've passed my test, and I've got the money to buy a car, so like, what am I doing? So I bought a car that I like. I looked around, there's loads of cars, big cars, small cars, smart cars, Fiat 500s, Hyundai i10s, i20s, iGos, blah, blah, blah. And I came across a Toyota IQ, which is like a full-size car cut in half, kind of. Inside, when you sat in it, there's nothing small. It just has a tiny back end, basically. And I thought, that will help me with my anxiety of, like, when I say anxiety, people will think, bro, everyone hates parking. But with me, it's a bit different, yeah. It becomes like this massive mental block. And so the thing that I've been focusing on, and why I've not been doing too much YouTube, is accepting that I have these things. Because obviously you can live in denial, but the first step is like, yeah, okay, I'm going to accept that I've got some like problems that I want to work on. And so what's helped is, okay, here are some roadblocks. What is going to make it easier for you? Now, when I used to do that, and I used to think about what's going to make it easier for me, I used to beat myself up and think, why can't you do these things? Why are you trying to make it easier for yourself? Why are you trying to help yourself? You idiot, you should just be able to do it, and you can't do it, so don't bother. Whereas now I've said to myself, okay, one of the things putting me off driving was just driving an enormous car. I just didn't like it. I don't like the look of them. I don't like, you're squeezing through these narrow UK roads, parking, all this stuff, and the type of journeys I want to do. It's not like I'm going to do motorway journeys anyway, so like having a big engine and all that doesn't help. So then I thought, okay, let's just accept it. Get a small car then and find one that you like. Then I tried some cars, and we went bit by bit, and I came across this IQ, and when I saw it, I just liked the look of it. Yeah, I went for it and I bought it. I've owned the car about a week and a half, and 5 of the days I've been absolutely full of this cold, which you might be hearing. And this cold ended up having my little nephew. He passed me the cold when we were looking after him, and I was spewing up and throwing up, and I've been awful, absolute wreck. Today's like the first day I feel alright, and he ended up in hospital. He's alright now, God bless him, so that's good. And he was spewing up, he had some blood and da-da-da, and I think it was just a really, really nasty flu or something. And so I've only driven it a few times, right? And I've said to myself, I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm going to go at my own pace and not overwhelm myself. So I said, the first time I went in it, my leg was shaking like anything. I was so nervous. And I said to myself, don't beat yourself up about it. This is normal. It's a manual. You haven't driven in like 4 years. You're also nervous on top, so that's not going to help. It's now your own car and responsibility, so that's going to add some importance. And obviously you've paid for your car insurance, which is so expensive, by the way, my lord. And you don't want to write off your car by being a horrific driver. So I took it on some really quiet roads. First time I stalled. No, I didn't stall. In fact, the very first time I drove, I didn't stall once, but it was janky. I was massively over revving. I was doing all those things. I was giving it way too many revs to stop stalling. I drove around these junctions, like 6 little junctions, over and over and over again for about an hour. And I started to feel like, okay, I'm driving now. I don't feel like I'm in control, but I'm driving. And then I said, I was driving with my dad, because I thought I'll take someone with me, because if I get a bit overwhelmed by, like, I'm trying to focus on all the mechanics of the car, I might miss, because it's like a pedestrian based area. I didn't want to miss anything, so I said, can you just be my eyes, and if I see something, just shout brake or whatever, like if I miss something. So I thought that takes some stress off. even though it makes me feel a bit daft having the parent in your car, but I said, okay, well, this is going to help me, and these are the steps I've got to take. And so I'm just acknowledging that it might take me a little bit longer, but hopefully we get there. And I don't know what this video is, but I just wanted to post it. So, went round there. Then the second time we went round, I did about 40 minutes, and I felt much more in control of the car. Clutch was nice and smooth as I was like holding it on the bite as we were, like, let's say there's two parked cars. As you come out of a junction, you kind of hold, you're not just letting go of the clutch and whizzing round. I felt like I was nice in control. And then I did it again just now, and then I drove it part way to McDonald's, and then I said, okay, I feel like I've had enough, like I've done all my junctions again. I've got, it's like first time, because the junction area is like 20 mile an hour, so been going 20, went on a main road 30, went to the co-op, did that. Then we went up to McDonald's, and the McDonald's would have involved 2 roundabouts, a 50 road, also going into McDonald's drive-through as a driver for the first time. I felt like, okay, that's probably going to be a bit overwhelming for me. And I know for most people, they'll be like, bro, just do it, get on with it. Like, this is sad. But I'm just telling you, like, so this might help somebody. And so my dad's insured on it. I paid for my dad to be insured for this specific reason, because I thought it would help. So I said, we'll swap over. You take me, I'll pay for McDonald's or whatever, and then we'll head back. And that was really good. So I've got back, and I think to myself, okay, I've done enough there. I've driven quite well. And maybe next time I drive a bit further, or maybe I don't. Maybe I just keep doing this for a few weeks. Maybe I just do it for a few months. I don't know. What I'm trying to do is stop punching myself virtually in the head and just say, okay, well, it's going to take a bit of time. Like, what's the big deal? I've bought the car. I've paid for it all. I can use it how I want. If I want to drive it once a year, I'll drive it once a year. If I want to take my time with it, I'll take my time with it. So I'm taking my time with it, and I'm going when I'm in the mood and I'm positive, because I know what I'm like. If I'm not in the mood and I get a bit low and I go out in that car and I have a bad session, or I just go to a shop and I'm reversing on a car park and everything's overloading me and I'm getting beeped and I'm in a bad mood, I'll just think, I'm never doing that again. I'm selling the car, and I'll shut down. So I'm trying to do things nice and slow and improve. So what I'm going to be doing, I guess, stream-wise, I know I'm jumping topic here, is the next 3 months is a PoE league. I've been playing League ARAMs just to unwind, just been spamming League ARAMs, and I'll be playing some PoE. Now, in an ideal world, I'd like to get to a point where I'm confident enough driving that I can then take myself to the gym. Then I'll have to deal with all the gym stuff. Or maybe I can just take myself to a different area of the country/town and go for a walk somewhere a bit different scenery, because walking around the same area, that kind of messes with your head. I'd like to do a nice country walk or whatever. So all these things are going to take time, and what I don't want to do is set deadlines and say, hey, after the first month of PoE, you better be driving on the road on your own and going to the gym every day, because if not, you've failed. I'd like to do that. That's a goal in my mind, but I'm not like penciling them in, because I've found myself that when I do that, I focus so much on the date of when it needs to be done that I never get it done. I'm just like, this needs to be done, and I'm not doing it, and I'm struggling doing it. Oh no, I can't be bothered with it, forget it. Whereas what I'm just going to say is, here are some things I want to do. Let's try our best in our own speed and our own capacity to work towards them. I feel like over the last 2 years, I've got a lot better at a lot of stuff. I don't know how to explain it. I think that's why I was disappointed, I guess, when I ended the relationship with that girl, because I felt like, damn, like, I'm actually doing pretty good now. I was not doing good 2 years ago when you met me, and now it's not working out. I'd have rather it not worked out when I was doing rubbish, and then I could have blamed myself and been like, oh, it's because of all these things. But kind of wasn't that, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I've explained that correctly, but in a weird way, I'd have rather it have been on me, and I could have looked back and gone, oh yeah, obviously she left you because you couldn't do XYZ and you struggled with XYZ. But actually it just came to a natural end, which was a bit disappointing. But it is what it is. Like, you know, it ended not good. Let's just say that. And it didn't need to end that way. She, yeah, was a bit of a dick, basically, for no reason. Anyway, we know. I can't be asked to get into it. I'm fine. But I just want to say, yeah, like, I'm going to be playing some PoE. I've been enjoying the League ARAMs. I don't know why. They've just been nice. And I've just been trying to not beat myself up and not be so... yeah, just so tough on myself. Like, I have enough people and there's enough stuff going on in the world that is tough on you that you also don't need to be tough on yourself. And I've just become less of a people pleaser. It's like the number one thing I learnt from that whole relationship was like, I've been bending over backwards for so long. You don't realise it until you stop. And I always think, like, I always used to think putting up a bit of a boundary and saying, hey, actually, I don't want to do that, or actually, I want to do this, or hey, that doesn't make me feel so good, or hey, let's, like, you know, been a bit more authoritative and a bit more assertive. I always used to think, oh, you want to put boundaries up, oh, you think you're so good, you're this and that, but actually, like, it's quite interesting when you've been a people pleaser for so long and you put up a boundary. A lot of people freak out, and the boundary you're putting up is probably a lot less of a boundary than everyone else they know has already put up, but because they don't expect it from you, you're the nice one, you're the one that always bends over. It's yeah, it's been a bit of a process. I'm just unpeeling my McDonald's thing. Did I win anything? Oh, I've won £5 cash, mate. Brilliant. £5 cash, mate. What a win, what a victory. That's more money than we've made off the YouTube channel and Twitch probably in the last 50 months. So bonus there, mate. On that victory, I think we'll end it. Yeah. So just trying to be nice and calm, relaxed on myself, not overwhelming. Also today, I bought a little new Toyota key and a little rubber cover, so it makes my key look brand new. Oh, it's swanky, doesn't it? So, yeah, just a chilled out video. Thanks for listening.